Hi, I'm Gail Hogue. I'm here with my husband Gregory. And our topic today is something that we all want, and that is good relationships and love. Life is so much about relationship, how we're related to everything around us, how we relate to ourselves, to our soul, and to each other. And as we evolve, one of the things that we're able to do is also evolve our relationships. And something that Gregory and I have found in working with sacred geometry for over 33 years is that the influence of these geometries has had a tremendous impact on our relationship, on our ability to be able to connect more with love and to be able to interact with people in more loving ways. So that's what we'll be talking to you about today.
Wow, it's such an important process, this process of growth, this process of discovery, who we are. And the deeper we go inside, and when I say inside, I mean opening the doorway of the heart to move to the higher aspects of our being. Because as we've said many times, we're like an iceberg where only 10% shows up here in the third dimension. So if we want good, loving, incredible relationships with everything around us, other human beings, the planet, and so on, we need to cultivate that inside relationship, because that's where love starts. Love starts at the level of soul. It starts at that level that's sometimes referred to as the causal level, the level from which all causes descend. And when we connect to that level and work on all the steps, all the dimensions in between, then the energy starts flowing. And the energy flows into this world, into our 3D world. And this is where we see the benefits of culturing that higher connection. This is where we see the fruits of our labor, so to speak, because our labor must begin on those places inside where we're going. And that's where, as Gail was saying, sacred geometry helps so much, because it creates the resonance that is necessary for that energetic flow. It creates that connection, that opening, so that the higher realms can more easily penetrate this realm. And of course, what comes with that, when you have that coherence, is that coherence of love, that connection with love.
People have been sharing their stories with us, particularly in their use of the heart companion, which you see us wearing. And they find that something has shifted, and that is that they are feeling more peaceful, they're feeling more centered, they're feeling that they can open themselves up more and allow themselves to be loved and allow themselves to express love in ways that they hadn't before. There's an inner balance that happens. It's really extraordinary and exquisite. And I always like to come back to our relationship to nature. Sacred geometry is based on understanding and replicating the natural patterns so that we are actually working with how that divine energy comes into physical manifestation, how it builds the earth, how it builds our bodies, how it affects everything that is around us. So when we're in an environment that resonates with the natural foundation, the beauty of nature, something happens. We breathe differently, our bodies respond differently, we're connected in a way that is so valuable. And as an effect of that, we're capable of being able to relax more and accept ourselves, accept the love, and listen and be with others in a way that is so much more gratifying, so much more nurturing. And that is so important in how our relationships can keep evolving. Now, as we evolve our relationships, as we get into relationships with, for instance, a significant other, we can find that there's frictions. Things happen. You know, life isn't always just a bowl of cherries. And so as a result, we have established, every single one of us has established habits and patterns and reactive ways. And those are just old ruts. They're not something that we have to continue to do. Working with sacred geometry enables us to have that extra quality of awareness so that we can take those moments to be able to be more mindful, to be able to express what we truly want, our real intent, which is to be loving and open and joyful beings that can enjoy ourselves and each other to the fullest. And I want to read you something that was sent to us from Marion Ross, PhD, as she was working with some of these tools like the Heart Companion. And here's what she said. She said, you can take a break rather than going into anger or resentment. You have the time to take the breath, which you didn't before. It inspires you to say, hey, I'm the observer. It holds space for you to transform and change your patterns as you become aware. So having that hiatus, that freedom to be able to come back into who we are, take those moments, enables us to create those new patterns so that after a while, that's what we rely on instead of some of the old ruts that we've experienced.
I had a couple in their late 70s come into my shop and buy a pair of Heart Companions. And a couple weeks later, they came back to my shop to get some more things because they'd had a lot of success with the Heart Companions. And while they were there, he leaned over to me and he said, what I love about the Heart Companion is she doesn't yell at me as much anymore. And his wife overheard us and said, well, I don't have to. And so it's like, as Gail said, it's hard to tell chicken or egg. I mean, was she not yelling at him because of her ability to take a moment to feel that higher perspective, to feel more love and not have to go into a reactionary phase? Or was he behaving differently because he was noticing things that he hadn't noticed before? And so it's really both sides. But everybody starts shifting when they can start watching themselves, when they start feeling behind them that essence of love wanting to percolate through. You see, the love comes from inside. And if we've opened the doorways all the way through the different dimensional levels into our lives from that essential divine love, it starts percolating through our lives more and more. So we don't immediately go to the most negative case. We don't immediately go to, why is this happening to me? We don't immediately go into a victim state because we have that love there saying it's okay. You don't have to act like you did before. And it's not something we rationalize. It's not something you take time. I'm sure this couple, they didn't figure it out. She goes, I'm doing this because, or he because. It's just they start shifting. It's almost automatic